my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and these are the hottest Golden Age comics of the week. Number 10 on the list is A Girl's Life #1. This is from Atlas 1954. It is a Al Hartley cover, and it's a Patsy Walker book. So they started a new title with Patsy Walker, and it's just a cool book where you get to see her as her fashion self and just her regular self. So really interesting Patsy Walker book, and quite rare. So this one was a 4.5 that sold, and it sold for $440. Actually, $439.99. It's the only sale in this grade. However, there was a 5.5 that sold in December of 2023 for $395. So this is probably a record for multiple reasons. Very strong sale for this book. There's only 5 of these on the census, and 5 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Just a rare book, and one that you just don't see that often. Kind of interesting one, and probably whenever it comes up, whatever price people set, it seems to go for. Number 9 on the list is A Ginger #1. This is from Archie, 1951. It is a George Frez cover, and it's a great, good girl art cover, hot for teacher cover, great sweater cover, just a really great good girl cover. This was a 3.5 that sold, and sold for $415. Now that is really far down because this book had actually had a previous record set back in 2019 for $1,140, which is interesting because that was sort of an outlier sale. It was kind of going before that for around $300, and the last sale that happened in December of 2023 was for $360. So it was kind of this weird outlier sale that made it look like, wow, this book was going up crazily. This current sale is kind of more in line with the past trend line, and that one outlier sale now is more obviously an outlier sale, the 2019 sale. So so this is right in line with the previous trend. It's almost like there was a COVID spike or something for this Golden Age book. There's only 35 of these on the census, and 35 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 8 on the list is Catman Comics #12. This is from Continental, 1942, and it is a Charles Quinlan cover. And it's a great spotlight cover where you get to see Catman and Kitten, and they're in the spotlight. and it's kind of very reminiscent of Batman covers. Very cool book. This was a 4.0 sale, and it sold for $1,032.87. The previous record for this book was set back in March of 2024, so just a few months ago, for $1,044. So this is just really reconfirming that $1,000 price range for this book in this grade. Now there's only 24 of these on the census, and 20 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 7 on the list is Superboy #1. This is from DC Comics, 1949. It's a Wayne Boring and Stan K cover, and it also has like a ad for Beverly Hills #1. Beverly, what's her name? Something Beverly Hills of Hollywood, or #1. So it's which is a famous good girl cover. Just a interesting first appearance, like in a weird way, inside. But really, this book is known for being Superboy #1. It's got a Superman cover. It's doing the flip thing. You're going to find out the story inside about Superboy. So kind of a major book for DC. This was a 6.0 restored copy that sold, and it was a B3. So that means like moderately professional or slight amateur, whatever way you want to say it. But a fair amount of restoration done to this book, like moderate restoration. And it sold for $1,169. Now, this is really far down, actually. This one was a little bit of a surprise because if you look at the blue labels for this book, generally they sell for around $4,000. I mean, there was a sale back in June of 2021 for around $4,320. So blue label, usually in this grade, you would expect it to sell for about 50 to 60% of that value in a restored copy. But this is like half of that half. And if you look at the restored previous sales, for a 6.0 restored, the most recent sale was back in March of 2018 for $2,200, which is much more in line with that half of, or that 60% of the blue label. So this was a very weak sale for this book. Not sure why. It just didn't do that well. There's 266 of these on the census, and 209 of them are universal blue labels. Number 6 on the list is All American Comics number 20. This is from December, not December, DC Comics 1940. It's a Sheldon Moldoff cover, and it's the first appearance of the Red Tornado and the second appearance of the Atom. So major book for key appearances. This was a 1.0 sale, and it sold for $1,499. It is the only sale in this grade, so we don't really have much to compare it with, but there was a 3.0 sale for $3,840 in February of this year. So this is more than what you would expect a 1.0 to sell for. Generally, if, based on the 3.0 sale, you would expect this to sell for around $1,300. So a little bit over that $1,300 mark. There's only 40 of these on the census, and 30 of them are universal blue labels. Number 5 on the list is Pep Comics number 41. This is from MLJ 1943, and it's a Harry Shaw cover. And it's the second cover appearance of Archie. And this actually marks the turning point for the Archie, Pep series, because it becomes where Archie sort of dominates the covers after this. From this point on, it's all Archie covers. And it's an interesting cover in the respect that you got the Shield, which was up to this point Pep's main character, and he's lifting up Archie's arm as if he had knocked out this other character. But in a weird way, it was kind of a knockout for the Shield because soon after this, not many issues later, the Shield was removed from Pep, and it was more focused on Archie. So very interesting, like almost foreshadowing on this cover. Now this was a 5.0 that sold, and it sold for $1,599. It was actually a fixed price on eBay that this one sold with. And the previous record for this, so this will surprise you. So this was a fixed price on eBay. Usually eBay will take the past sales and they'll double or do some crazy price with it. Well, this was actually much lower than the previous record. The previous record was set back in December of 2021 for $3,680. And that might have been an outlier sale because the most recent sale for this book was set back in, was a 5.5 that sold for $1,766. And other grades, if you look at other grades, there were similar kind of trends. Like that one sale that happened in 2021, which was just this massive sale, seems to be a very outlier sale. It just was totally not in line with what you would see this book traditionally selling for. It would traditionally sell for around that $1,000 mark. And then there was just one massive sale and then back to that line. So this is kind of what you would expect this book to go for. So I think the person, whoever priced it, was pricing it not on that one outlier sale, but what this book traditionally would go for. So just a very interesting sale, a sort of a sub theme on this list where we get these outlier sales and being corrected by future sales. There's only 21 of these on the census, and 18 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 4 on the list is Detective Comics number 48 from DC Comics 1941. It is a Bob Kane and a Jerry Robinson cover, and it features the very first appearance of the Batmobile and first Gotham. So it's a very important book. And also it has an ad for All-Star Comics number 3, which is the first appearance of the JSA. So lots of stuff going on in this book. Very important book for Batman collectors. This was a 3.0 that sold, and it sold for $1,400. This is a reasonable sale, not a great sale, but the previous record for this book was set back in 2019 for $762. So it's way up from that 2019 sale. And it's kind of in line with what the other grades have been selling for. So there was a 4.0 sale that was in June of 2024 for $1,800. And there was a 5.0 that sold back in December of 2023 for $2,243. So this is kind of what you would expect. It's kind of right in line with those other sales. So just a really good sale for confirming that new price for this book. There's 115 of these on the census, and 97 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 3 on the list is Sunny, number 12. This is from Fox Feature Syndicate, 1949. It is Al Felstein, and this is a great bikini like tanning thing where you get this pretty girl and her boyfriend is looking through the window to see her, and he's like freezing outside because this is like she's sunbathing in the winter and just getting herself ready for maybe a warm vacation somewhere else. This was a 9.0 that sold, so really high grade for this book. And it sold for $2,750. This is actually down from the previous record. Again, another outlier sale. So this is was a really major outlier sale because back in November of 2023, this book sold for $3,840, which is very odd because this book normally sells for around $800 to $1,000 in this grade. So it was just a massive sale, and this is a bit of a pullback or correction for this book. Back not quite in line even with those, sort of normal trend line for this book, but closer to it, I guess. So it's down 1,000 from the big sale, but closer to the trend lines that you'd normally see for this book in this grade. The interesting thing is with these, corrections, it's like they're people are kind of coming back to what the trend lines are. We sort of see this a lot in the modern age with, if you watch my Silver Age, video where I do on Mondays, I see this a lot where things have sort of corrected back to the old trend lines for, after COVID. But this is kind of like a natural phenomena where these books are kind of going back to their natural trend lines, as if there was some weird spike due to some outlier sales. So just a really interesting one, I think. Number 2 on the list. Oh, sorry. There's actually 27 of these on the census, and 24 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 2 on the list is Batman number 42. This is from DC Comics 1947. It is a Jack Burnley and Charles Perez cover, and it is the first Catwoman cover for the Batman title. Now, there's actually an earlier Catwoman cover appearance in Detective 122, but this is her first cover appearance in the Batman title. And it's another one of these ones where they're kind of pulling the page and, oh, she's there. They're revealing her in her modern Catwoman suit as well. So just a really great one for Catman fans. So this was a 6.5 CVA copy. CVA just means that it appears better than a 6.5. It's a nice presenting 6.5. That makes sense. And this sold for $3,700, and which is up from the previous record. The previous record was set back in May of 2020 for $2,900. So it's up about $800 in that time. So very strong sale. One thing to note though, that previous sale, that previous record was for a non-CVA version. So this is I don't know how this would be considered. Is it a really strong sale, or is it just in line with what you would expect based on like a 6.5 plus grade? So one of those ones, like how do you think the CVA impacts the grade or value of the book? So I'd be curious about that, like what people think of that. Do you really value this extra certification of CVA? I don't know. So there's 264 of these on the census, and 246 are universal blue labels. Number 1 on the list is a Detective Comics 168. This is from DC Comics 1951. It is a Lou Sayer Schwartz cover, and it is the first appearance of the Red Hood, but it's also the first, it's the origin of the Joker. And spoiler, the Red Hood is Joker. So it's a very important book. So this was a 3.5 sale, and it sold for $9,999, which is interesting because this same book, the same book, just had a record on Heritage Auctions just 3 days before. So 3 days before this book sold on eBay, there was a record that was on Heritage on June 23rd this year. And it sold on Heritage for $12,000. So somebody probably said, oh, wow, there's this massive sale on Heritage. I'll go over to eBay and just buy, somebody just said, hey, why pay the Heritage auction price when I can go over to eBay and get it for $2,000 less? 3 days later, somebody waited 3 days to pick it up. So interesting that the person on eBay probably didn't see the Heritage auction sale, and somebody got a bit of a steal on this one. So this is the number 1 book on the list, and it's also a bit of a steal. It's like, probably somebody didn't have a chance to correct their eBay listing, and as a result, somebody got a really great price on it. There was actually a previous sale for this book as well in November of 2023 that was for $10,200. So I guess the person that listed it on eBay was kind of listing it based on, giving a little bit of a discount, but they probably didn't have to. It actually sold on Heritage for more just 3 days earlier, which is kind of funny. There's 204 of these on the census, and 158 of them are universal blue labels. So that's it. That's the list for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. What did you think about these corrections of these outlier sales? And what do you think of these CVA copies? And what do you think of these Good Girl books like Sunny and Junior and, not Sunny and Junior, Sunny and Ginger and Girl's Life? Such an odd book that is so incredibly rare. And why is it so rare? I don't get it. But it's just, it is. So yeah, I'd like to hear your feedback, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.